Okay. So first of all, we are going to discuss about this chart. So to insert the chart, the shortcut key is the Alt IH. Okay, so this is the shortcut key if you want to insert the chart through the shortcut key. Otherwise, you can go into Insert tab and you can see this chart section, right? You can create the column chart, you can create the pie chart, or whatever the chart you want to create it, you will be able to see it over here. Okay. Now, the graph or the chart, that is basically used for the data representation. Okay. Now, so can anyone tell that why do we use the graph? What is the purpose of creating the graph? Any idea? Whatever you think about this.
To show presentation.
So the presentation, okay.
Display the
Easy to
data in a
understand.
particular diagram.
Easy to understand is one of the point. Correct.
Basically, the compare two threads.
Okay. So now the data representation basically we use where we can get the better insights of the business, right? Suppose if you have a historical data, for example, I have given you the 1 year data. Okay. Now I just want to analyze the sales, that in which market what sales has been done. So if you have created that into the graphical representation in the summarized format where I can see the bar up and down, right? So easily I can understand that in this month or in this quarter the sales has gone up or sales has been down, and I can recognize that and I can take the fruitful decision, right? That why in this market the sales gone down or the sales is up, right? What are the factors actually? So the data representation basically helps you to analyze the data into the better way. So that's why the company is interested to see the graphical representation or the data representations in the terms of the chart or the graph. When you create any of the chart or the graph, so here in the chart and graph, you will be able to see the chart elements. Okay. So this is the chart elements I have just created for you guys. So you can see here what are the data labels, what we call as a chart title, what is a chart area, what are the legends, everything, x-axis, y-axis, everything is there. Okay. But we will also see in the graph. So for example, I have just given you this city-wise sales data and I ask you please create the sorry. So now I ask you please create the graph. So what you will do, you have selected this data. Okay. And now I'm just gonna press Alt IH. Once I press the Alt IH, this insert chart wizard will be appear in front of you. Here you can see the two sections, recommended charts and all charts. This recommended charts is basically some AI working. AI working in the sense that whatever the data you have selected, so on the basis of your data, it is giving to you that you can create these kind of a graphs. But if you do not want to go for these kind of a graph, you want to select your own graph, you can go into this all chart and you can see the chart type. So if you want to create a column chart, so I have selected this column chart and now I have clicked on a OK. Once I clicked on a OK, here you can see the column chart has been created on the basis of your data set. So in this graph, here, this is the x-axis where you can see the cities. This is the y-axis where you can see the figures 0 to 12 million, this one. And here, this is the sales is a chart title. If you'll hover the cursor, you will also get this. Like here, I hover the cursor, you can see in the horizontal axis. If I hover the cursor here, you can see this is the y-axis. If I hover the cursor on the sales chart title, this area, this mid-section area is known as a plot area. The outside section is known as a chart area. These pillars are known as a series. These horizontal lines are known as the major grid lines. You can see. Okay, this one. And now, whenever you are creating the graph, from the graph, each and everything must be clear. Okay, like here, if I want to add the x-axis title and the y-axis title, like the x-axis title, I want to add as a city, and y-axis title I want to add as a sales. So what I can do, I can select the chart, then you will see this plus sign, okay, which is a chart element. Click on that, you can see this axis title, so click on that. Once you click on this, your both the titles will be added, or you can also just go for that. If you want to go for the horizontal axis title or the vertical axis title, you can also check or uncheck as per your requirement. So now the axis title has been added. So you can select that and you can rename it. So like I renamed it as a city. Then here, this y-axis title I have renamed as a sales. So now I can easily understand, okay, the x-axis is the city, y-axis is the sales. Okay. Now, here in this graph, if I ask you that seeing this graph, can you please tell me that what sales has been done in the Delhi? Seeing the graph. So seeing the graph, you cannot tell me the exact figure, correct? So everyone, first of all, please create the graph till here. Create the graph from the data, add the axis title, because after that, I'm just gonna perform the formatting. So you will be able to see that. Just create till here, first of all. Create the graphs and x-axis and y-axis title added.
ऑल्ट प्लस आई प्लस एच करना है क्या?
हाँ, डेटा सेलेक्ट करके this
एक
one.
बार वापस दिखाओ ना.
Simply you do one thing. Select this data,
हाँ
go into insert, click on this recommended charts. So the
हाँ.
same result will be appear, and you can go into this all charts and select this column.
Done.
Done. Okay. Oh, so now if you have added all these things, and now if I ask you, as I ask, what sales has been done in the Delhi, or what sales has been done in the Mumbai or Himachal or Kanpur, in any of the cities, so seeing the bar, you can do the comparison with the y-axis and you can tell me the nearby figure, right? So suppose if I ask you that what sales has been done, so seeing the bar of this Delhi, okay, this bar is existing between the 6 lakh to 8 lakh and somewhere here. So you can just tell that somewhere around the 7.4, 7.2 or 7.5. But exact figure you will not be able to tell me, right? But I want to add the exact figure. So if you want to add the exact figure into your graph, so that is known as a data labels. So you can select this graph, click on this plus sign, and click on this data labels. Okay. Once you click on this, you can see in your graph, the exact figure has been added now. Okay. Now, if you do not require this horizontal line, you can uncheck these grid lines over here. So uncheck these grid lines. Now you can see grid lines has been removed now. So you have added the data labels into your graph now. Now, here you can see the Pune and the Bangalore figures, it is showing the quite close. You can see, right? If there would be the one or two more figures in the Pune, so it's gonna overlap with the Bangalore sales figure. So in the real scenario, when you are just working for the organization, so we never demonstrate this whole figure like the 75 lakh or the 80 lakh. No, we just convert it into the millions or the billions or the into the thousands as per the data set. But exact figure we do not show. If you have the till the 100, like the 200 or the 300, then that is fine. But if you have a figure into the lakhs, right? So don't show that exact figure, convert that into the proper display unit. So now here, all these figures, I just want to convert here. Okay. So what I can do is in this y-axis, okay, do the right click on this y-axis, select and right click, and you have to go into this format axis. Once you go into this format axis, then here you will get this option as a display unit. In this display unit, if you click on this drop down, so it is telling you that in these units you can convert your data. So if you select this 1000 from here, okay, and once I click on OK, so it's gonna convert into the thousands. If you want to convert into the lakhs, then millions, or so on and so forth. So if I select this 1 lakh and click OK, so my all the figures has been divided by the 1 lakh, all the figures. Okay. But now all the figures has been divided by 1 lakh, that is completely fine. But after the decimal, there are a 4 digit, 5 digit, something like that. So after the decimal, I want to show the 2 digits. So what I can do, I can click on in any of the data labels, any of the data labels. I clicked, all the data labels has been selected, right click, format data labels, and here you will get these options here in the number. So click on the number, then here you can see the category, select the category as a number, and you can see the decimal places. So now you have a 2 decimal places you can see, and this decimal places you can change it. For example, if you want to show the 1 decimal places, make it as a 1. Okay, 1 decimal places. You can see in the graph 1 decimal places now. If you want to show the round figure, make it as a 0. Simple. So it will be into the round figure. In this box, you can provide the decimal points from 0 to 30. Okay, this one. So till the 1 decimal points or 2 decimal points, that is the sufficient. Okay. So now you can see the data labels has been added into your graph. Okay. So what I have done, first of all, in this y-axis, I selected, then done the right click, format axis, and here I have changed the display unit to this lakhs. Okay. After that, I have selected this data labels, right click, format data labels, and then here in this number decimal points. Okay, just try this everyone.
Please, can you repeat the steps after selecting the this y-axis?
Done the right click,
Format axis.
format axis, display unit.
Okay. 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 And then
Then select this unit.
I'm done. Okay. Selected.
Hmm. Okay. And this chart title is into the editable. Okay. If you want to change this, you can also change this or perform any kind of a formatting. Everything you can do this. Okay. Now, here you can also insert the images as.
अनूप
Yeah.
अनूप ये जो डेसिमल हटाने वाला था ये एक बार फिर से आप बता देना.
Decimal हटाने के लिए you can select this data label,
Yes,
right click,
yes,
format data labels.
yes.
Then here you can see the numbers.
I'm not getting the numbers.
You are getting like this.
1 second. Please tell me once again. Value should. Then I'm getting the right click.
In the right click, format data labels have you clicked.
Yes.
You are getting this result in the right side.
Label options, value. 1 second. Yes, I'm getting.
Okay. You can collapse this. Okay. Click on this. You will see this number.
Okay.
Expand this.
Okay.
In the category, just select this number,
Okay.
then the decimal points.
Okay. Okay.
Great. Hmm.
So
So
we just need to see type the decimal. Yeah. Okay.
default, it will take the 2 decimal. You can increase or you can decrease.
Okay.
Okay. Now, here in this plot area, if I just want to perform any kind of a formatting, like in this plot area, I did the right click, format plot area, and you can see this fill option. If I expand this, so if you want to insert any image into your plot area, then you can go for this picture or the textures, and here you can click on this insert and you can select the picture which you want to insert, like the company logo or anything. But they have also given that the textures, if you want to use that, so you can see the textures are here now. I clicked on that. So here you can see the papyrus, water droplets, white marble, sands, canvas. Any of these you can select it from here. Okay. And you can see the transparency. So transparency, if you increase it, the color will be the light. Okay. So you can go for this as well. The transparency, what you want to keep it. Similarly, in this chart area, I can also fill the color. For example, in this chart area, I am filling these water droplets. So where you are able to see this water droplets, that is related to your chart area, where you can see this papyrus color. So this is your plot area. Okay. So now the graph is perfectly fine and it is telling me all the things over here. Okay. Now, the same kind of a formatting you have to perform in each and every graph. By doing the right click, you will get all the options related to the graph. Okay. Now, if I ask you to create the pie chart, so first of all, always remember the pie chart basically we create when we just want to show the data into the percentage. Okay, percentage basically it tells you the contribution. For example, I have given you this data. I have a 6 teams and every team has done these kind of a sales into that particular respective month. Now, if I ask you, can you please tell me that which team has the highest contribution in the sales? Okay, so what I will do is I will select this data first of all, and I can create the pie chart. Insert, then here I can create this pie chart from here. Once I click this pie chart, so now you can see the pie chart has been created, and in this pie chart, you can see here this team 1, team 2, these are nothing but known as a legends. Okay, if you click on this plus sign, and if you do not require these legends, you can uncheck that. Okay, or if you click on this arrow, you can see the position where you want to keep the legends. Okay, so if I do not require these legends, I will uncheck this box. Okay, now I want to show the percentage over here, but when I'm just clicking on this data labels over here, it is showing me the percentage. No, it is showing me what? The total sales figure, right? So I just want to convert these whole value into the percentage. So what you can do, any of these data labels, okay, when I say the data labels, it means the figures which reflecting in the graph. So if you select any of the data labels and do the right click and format data labels, then you can see this percentage option. So first of all, you have to select the percentage, then uncheck this value. So now you can see it has converted into the percentage. Now, if seeing this graph, okay, the figures are showing the 18%, 11%, that is fine. But seeing this graph, is it visible that which percentage is belong to which team? No, right? So if I just want to show the team name also, that like the team 1, 18%, team 2, 11%, like this. So in this case, what you can do is you can also check this category name. If you click on this, so now you can see this has also been added. Okay, so now it is telling you that the team 1 has this percentage, team 2 has this percentage. So now seeing the graph, if I ask you which team has the highest contribution in the sales?
Team 2.
Team 5,
Team
Team
5.
5.
right? Team 5 has the highest contribution. And you can see the slice of the team 5 is bigger than the others. Okay. So now the team 5 has the highest contribution, that is a 30%. Okay, in the interview, from the most of the candidate related to this pie chart, the question was asked, okay, when you converted that value into the percentage, you can see the percentage figures like you guys are seeing over here, 11%, 18%, 30%, or whatever. Now the question was asked how this percentage was calculated, or how this percentage is being calculated at the back end. So the contribution means that whatever the total sales has been done, like this total sales has been done this, and now if you want to take the contribution, it means if I divide the individual sales by this total sales, and now if I press the enter, and you can see if I drag this down, so look, those percentages are coming, which you can see into my graph as well. So the contribution means actually the mean of this contribution is that the individual sales is divided by the total sales. Okay, now just try this.
Anurag, can I ask you one thing?
Hmm.
Like we have already like learned in the childhood कि like जब percentage निकालना है तो तब total sorry the July's the team one sales divided by the total sales
Hmm.
into 100 for calculating the percentage value, right?
Hmm.
But here we don't use any like 100, or is it just the inbuilt formula?
Because here I have converted this into the percentage. If you'll just keep into this general, you will get like this.
Okay. This
Okay.
particular column is converted into percentage.
Yes. Yes, you can
Okay.
see.
Okay. Okay. Got it.
Okay.
हाँ वो उसके बाद फिर ये परसेंटेज वगैरह
Right click,
राइट
format.
क्लिक राइट क्लिक ऑन ये अच्छा इसमें फॉर्मेट चार्ट एरिया ना
Format data labels.
format
डेटा लेबल्स को सेलेक्ट करके राइट क्लिक करोगे.
ओके हाँ तो ओके और उसके बाद परसेंटेज वो फॉर्मूला नहीं ऐड हो रहा था मैंने अभी जो किया
Which
ना
formula you're talking about?
वो डिवाइड करने वाला B2 डिवाइड बाई ये
Yeah, this one here is the formula.
तो क्लिक इस पे करके
Simple Excel formula this is, guys. This is
नो नो
simple Excel
नो नो
formula.
आई एम नॉट टॉकिंग अबाउट दैट बट आ नहीं रहा था वहां पे वैसे वो इक्वल टू ट्राई करता हूँ वापस क्या आ गया
Okay, so now the next chart we have, this is a line chart. Okay, so all the chart will be the same, so you guys can do the practice later as well in this graph, because everything is the same kind of formatting, everything. Okay, so now if I just select this graph and insert recommended charts, and now if I just select this line chart, so it will show the trend like this. Okay, so whenever you have to show the trend analysis, so in that case you can select this line chart. If I add these labels, so now you can see it is telling me that now in which year the sales was when the sales went down, up and down. You can see the trend. Okay, the year wise trend analysis you can perform like this. And in the graph, if you will change any of the figure, so your graph will change automatically. Okay. For example, in this 1998, you can see the sales figure is 35,675. if I change this to 24,533 and enter, once I will enter, just see this line, it is going to be down. Enter, and now you can see. Look, right? So here, this kind of a trend analysis, whenever you have to perform the trend analysis, so in that case, you have to use that line chart. Bar chart basically we use when we have the length of the horizontal axis is too big. For example, in this case, suppose if I just create this column chart. So look, when you are creating this column chart, so the name will get rotate like this. For example, if I click on the OK, so you can see the name is rotating like this. If I say I want to show the complete name, so what you will do? You will stretch the graph like this. Okay. But I do not want to go with that. So the better thing is that what you can do is selecting the graph and simply go for this bar chart. So in this bar chart, you can see the name is showing completely fine to you. Look, right? Like this. So this will be the bar chart. And rest of the things are completely same. I do not require the grid lines. I want to add the data labels or whatever you want to perform it. Okay. And now always remember guys one thing. For example, suppose if you have created this bar chart or if I have created this bar chart. Now if I ask you, okay, please convert this to the column. So you do not require to delete this graph. What you can do is in this graph, you can do the right click. You can go with this change chart type. You will get this wizard again. You can select, like if I say I need the column chart, select column and okay. If I ask you create the bar chart, do the right click, change chart type, select this bar chart and okay. Look. So by doing the right click on the graph, you can change the chart type of any of the graph which you want to keep selected. Okay. Mix chart is basically the combination of the column chart and line chart. Okay. Which is also known as a combo chart. So if I select this data where I have the name, sales, and target, if I go into this recommended charts, now it will show me that combo here. If I go into the all the charts, you can see the combo. If I click on the combo, you can see the sales is into the column and target is into the line. Okay. I can change this to any of the line you want. And now if I click on the OK, so now you can see this is basically the combo chart. So in this chart, you can easily see that what is the sales and what is the target. So seeing this graph, easily I can understand the line which is below the bar or in the bar. So those people has achieved the target, but where the line is outside of the bar, those people has not achieved the target, right? So like in this case, if you see, so Ajay and Mohan has not achieved the target and rest of the people has achieved the target. Okay, this one. And the chart title, you can add it whatever you want to add it. But if you want to connect with a cell, like here, suppose if I say on this N1 cell, suppose if I written as a sales versus target. And now if I say, if I write anything on this N1 cell, that should come into my chart title. So just select the chart title. Do not do the double click. Please make sure, don't do the double click. In the chart title, you have to do the single click, then immediately click on this formula bar and then put the equal sign and select that cell and enter. So look, automatically it will take as a sales versus target. Now whatever you will make on the N1 cell, automatically that will come here. So like here I say sales versus target 2024 and enter. So you can see that, right? Now here suppose you have the, okay, in this, if I ask you, in this graph, suppose if I ask you, can you please add the sales figures also? So you can go for the data labels, but the graph is too cumbersome. So in this case, if I add the data table, not the data label, data table I have added, so you can see separate table will get created, which is telling to you that what is the sales amount and what is the target amount. Okay, with the name of that person. Now, if I just select this second data set where I have a sales into the proper sales figure, but variance I have into the percentage. Now, if I just create the combo chart for this, if I select this, I clicked on recommended charts, then I will click on this, all the charts and combo. Okay. Then you can see the straight line because this percentage is also calculating on the basis of this primary axis. Okay, so 25% means the 0.25. So 0.25 will be somewhere here, right? So first of all, I given this line, and now this variance, I will convert this to the secondary axis. Now you can see. So this y-axis, this one, this secondary axis where percentage. So your variance is calculating through this percentage, and your sales is calculating through this primary axis. Now simply click on the OK, and now you can see you have the proper graph now. Okay, so you can see now you have this proper graph where you can see that what exactly the percentage sales variances are and everything. Okay, if you want to add the table, you can add the tables also. Okay, like this. So now in this graph, you can see that what sales has been done and what is the sales variance. So the combo chart is basically the combination of this column and line chart. And dynamic graph. Dynamic graph means your data should be the dynamic. For example, if I have given you this data and now my requirement is that if I add any record or if I make any changes into graph, so those changes should reflect into my table. So can anyone tell that what is the things I have told you to make the dynamic pivot table? Because the similar thing I'm going to use into this dynamic graph concept. What was that? Just think about it and answer me. I have told you the way how you can make the dynamic pivot table. So the same thing I have used it to, I'm just gonna use it over here.
अगर मुझे वो मिक्स चैट वाला वापस बताओ ना एक बार, थोड़ा फास्ट हो गया था.
In the mix chart, I have selected this data, recommended charts, all charts, combo. Then I have selected this line, that's it.
Okay.
Yeah. So now for the dynamic graph, you have to select this data. Then first come into this insert tab. Then you can see this table. So click on this table, click on this OK. Now you can see the data created. Now after that, you can create the graph. Okay. So insert, then in this recommended charts, you can select any of the chart, whatever you want. Suppose you selected this column chart. Okay. Now I can add the data labels here. Okay. Now, if you'll add anything, suppose if you rename this name to Alo or Rohit and enter. So you can see the name has been changed. And now if I add any record and suppose sales, I change this to 12,000. Graph is changed. And now if I add the name as a Pankaj, so Pankaj name has been added. And if I just change this to this, now you can see the sales has been added. Okay. So this is basically your dynamic graph that if you make any changes, so automatically it will reflect you. Okay. Now I'm gonna discuss this one of the most important thing now. Okay, so please focus on the screen. Now I have given you this data in this A column. And now if I ask you, please give me the first name in the B column and last name in the C column. So how you will do that? What will be the first thing will come into your mind?
Concatenate.
No, concatenate the combine the things. But here I
Uh,
want to separate the things.
Text to column.
Correct. Text to column will come into your mind, right? But when you will just go for this text to column now, for example, you perform this text to column, you separated with this space, right? You require the output in this B column and finish this. Now you are getting this first name and the last name, which is fine. But if you change the name here, for example, here, if I change this Timothy Rezi to I added this Y, is it added in the last name or not? Is this added?
No.
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 So text to column is basically the one-time activity. Okay. If you have performed the text to column and your output has been generated, so your output is not directly linked with your original data. It doesn't mean that if you will make any changes into your original data, so your output will get changed. No. So if you want that in this output, whatever the things has been generated, those should be linked with my original data. If I add or change anything into my original data, according to that, my name, first name, and the last name should come here. So for this, we are going to use the function. Okay. So we have the left function here. So through the left function, you can pick any number of characters from any of the text. So like the text, I have selected the A2 and number of characters, suppose I given as a 2. So it will pick the 2 characters. If you will give the 3, it will pick the 3 characters. If you'll give the 4, it will pick the 4 characters and so on. Okay, like I given the 3. So from each and every character, it pick the 3 characters. But I need the whole name, right? But I need the whole name. So do we have the same number of characters in the first name? No, right? But what is the common factor in each and every data in A column?
Name and surname.
No, this is not the common factor.
Space.
Space is the common factor, right? So if you want to find the position of the space, so I'm gonna use the find function. So find function is going to help you to find the position of any character into the text. So here, if I use this find space I have given, and I said this is the text, simply close this bracket and enter. So look, it is telling you that in this first text, the space is coming on the seventh position. If you drag this, so look, in each and every text, it is telling you where the space is coming. Okay. Now, if you see for the first name in this Bonnie, in the Bonnie, how many characters do we have?
6.
6.
We have seven.
In the Bonnie, we have a 6 character, na?
Yeah.
So 7 minus 1 is what? 6. Similarly, in the Timothy, if you see, how many characters do we have in the Timothy name? 7. 8 minus 1 is what? 7. So my logic is simply now use the left function. This is the text, and in number of characters, the position of the space minus 1. So now you can see the name over here. If you drag it, you can see the name. Now, if you'll change any of the name, for example, I change this Ronnie name to Ron and enter, it automatically got changed or not in column B.
Yes.
Okay. So now this is completely depend on this A columm. That if you'll make any changes into this A column, automatically it is going to be changed. Similarly, if I require the last name, okay, so here we have one function first of all, which is the len function. So len function basically helps you to get the total number of characters has been used in that cell. So if I press the enter, so it is telling me that in this A2 cell you have used the 13 characters, including the space and everything. If I drag this, so you are getting the total number of characters in that respective cell. So if I require this name as a potter, so I will use the right function because right function helps you to pick the character from the right hand side. But again, the challenge will be the number of characters. So in this potter, how many characters do we have?
6.
6. Then the make the difference of this 13 minus 7 is what?
It is 6 again.
6. Right? So it means the logic is use the right function for this text and the total number of characters which I required, that is this 13 minus 7, and enter. Now you can see the last name. If you drag it, look, you are getting this last name. And if you just make any changes like I am removing this Y and enter, so look, automatically it got removed from here. So in this way, you can perform this first name and the last name concept. Okay. So I'm pasting the formula here in the bottom. Here, let me paste like this. This is related to this left. This is related to right. Then this is related to the find. Okay. And now this is related to the length. Okay. Now, just perform this everyone. First of all, just create this. Okay. And then perform. Function formula has been written over here. You can take the reference from this.
Like just for calculating the first name or just for calculating the last name, we are using this type of like,
No, this also can come into the multiple cases, right? I'm just gonna give you this scenario right now. Okay.
okay,
So now, if I suppose I have given you this, okay, and now I
okay,
said what you have to do is you have to create the email ID for all these. Okay. In which pattern I'm just looking for the ID. Now you guys have to create like this Potter dot Bonnie @test.com. Okay. For
okay,
this,
okay.
clear?
Yeah, that is what I was thinking. Like, for what type of data we can use these type of formulas for
Hmm.
calculating what type. Okay,
Yes.
okay, got it.
Yeah. So once you guys have done this, then this is the thing. Here, I'm just looking for the email ID. Okay. The email ID should be in this pattern. In this pattern. So now you have to think about it that how you will achieve this one. Okay. Now everything is in front of you. Now you guys just perform that logic. Take the time, no rush, think about the logic. Okay. No rush about it. Think about the logic and perform it. And now my ask is you guys have to create the email ID into this pattern for all these employees. Like for this next person, the ID should be the proctor.ron@test.com. So this is something you have to solve it now. Just think about the logic and solve it because all the things we
Okay.
have covered. Yeah. Read about this pattern first of all. So first of all, what you require here, last name,
Yeah, last name.
right? So last name dot first name @test.com. And all the things you have to combine together, right? So here I will use the concatenate, or you can also use the ampersand also. Okay. So here, first of all, I require this last name. Okay. Or you can use the ampersand. It's up to you. So look, the last name, if I ask you, so last name, how you have achieved? Right function, original name, comma, length minus find. This was the way or not? Correct? And now this name I want to convert into the lower case. So we have seen this lower function earlier. Yes or no? Correct.
Yes.
After that, you need to add this dot keyword. So ampersand and in double quote, I will give this dot. And then I need the first name. So how you have achieved the first name? Left text, then find -1. And now if I press the enter, so you will see it is coming, but I require this Bonnie name also into the lower case. So before this left, I will also use this lower case, right? And after that, I need to add this keyword, @test.com. So in double quote, I will just go for @test.com and enter. You can see if I drag this, so it is creating the IDs in the same pattern or not for each and every employee.
Anup, what if there are different email IDs?
In the organization, the different email IDs, the domain cannot be the different one, right? Just allow me a minute.
Anup, I want to ask one thing. Like if we are using the formula right bracket A2 comma F2 minus E2, okay. So what is the then use of creating the B column and the C column if we can't refer to the direct to these columns?
We can also refer where I have used this right function. Na? I can refer this C column and convert this into the lower. I can do that also.
Actually, we can do that also, no? Okay, that is it. Okay.
Okay. Now suppose you have a three name: first name, last name, and middle name. Okay. Now here I'm just going to find the first space, second space, and length. Okay, this one. So now just observe carefully. So here, if you need the first space, if you want to capture, same, use the find function. I said a space I need to find in this text. If I press the enter and drag it, you will see the first space position. Now, if you need the second space, okay, so space I want to find, this is the text. But now, if you want to achieve this second space position, then you have to skip the first space. It means what will be my start number in this case?
14.
No, your
7.
first 7 plus 1, because space is on the 7th position or not. तो आप स्पेस के आगे से ही तो स्टार्ट करोगे, यस और नो?
लेकिन हम राकेश स्पेस सिंह को पूरा कंसिडर करेंगे ना, तभी तो वो
नहीं
स्केप.
नहीं, अगर आपको सेकंड स्पेस की पोजीशन फाइंड करनी है, देन यू हैव टू जंप द फर्स्ट स्पेस और नॉट. इट मींस योर स्टार्ट नंबर विल बी after the first space or not. Like the first space is coming on the 7th position. So when you will start from the 8th and it will move further, then it will give you the second space position only.
प्लीज एक्सप्लेन वन सर.
अगर आप यहाँ पर स्पेस आपका 7th पोजीशन पर आ रहा है, अगर मैं 7 के आगे से स्टार्ट करता हूं, यानी 8th नंबर यहाँ पर है S. अगर मैं इस S से स्टार्ट करता हूं, देन आगे मूव होने पर जो भी स्पेस उसको मिलेगा ये उसकी पोजीशन बताएगा, और आइडली आपका सेकंड स्पेस है या नहीं,
यस.
right? So if I just give this 7 plus 1 and now if I enter, it is giving you the second space position or not?
6.
Correct?
Yes, yes,
Right?
yes.
And now if I drag this, you can see the second space position in each and every character. Okay. Now, if you need the length, so we have seen the length over here. Okay. Now, everything is in front of you and we can utilize that. If you need the first name, so which function you will use for the first name?
Anup,
We-
we can also use in the for second space, we can also do this, no? Len minus first space
Len minus first
minus.
space. No, no, because that will be the 18 minus 7. You can see,
Mm-hmm.
right? So for the first name, we will just go for this left function. This is the text, and we have seen that first space minus 1. So in this case, 7 minus 1, which is 6. And in the Rakesh, we have a 6 character. If I press the enter, look, and now if I drag it, you are getting the first name from each and every name. If you need the last name, so for the last name, we have seen the concept that I have to use this right function. This is the text, and here it will be the Number of characters will be what? Length minus second space.